David Henrie, welcome back to the Katie McGrady Show.
Good to be here again with you, Katie. How you doing?
I am good. I can't complain. Last time I saw you at the Good News Conference. I loved what you had to say at the Good News Conference. I want to reference that as kind of our jumping off point. You were talking about beauty. You were talking about art. You were talking about the way that artists these days sometimes kind of have to fight to get something beautiful made. That there's really this hunger for just junky stuff. And that has not been your career. The stuff that you've made really does lead people to thinking deeper thoughts and to having a moment of connection. Seeking Beauty is definitely in that vein, but is a new medium for you in terms of documentary, in terms of travel show. What drew you to this project when you first heard about it and decided to take a look at it?
Well, first, my wife and I love travel shows. So we love the Stanley Tucci travel show. We love watching Anthony Bourdain stuff. So we love food shows and all that. So when a travel show came to me about things that I care about, I was, of course, very intrigued. And beauty is something that, as I've gotten older, has become more and more appealing to me as one of the transcendentals. Because I didn't really grow up with it. I grew up like a lot of Americans thinking that beauty is a cost that can be cut. It's something that gets left to the very end, and if you got any budget left over, you can doll up whatever you're working on. And I also thought beauty was kind of soft or something that like wasn't for me. It just, even the word was like, ugh. So I really couldn't be more wrong. And wanted to explore that in this show, because what we experience in the show is just how beauty is the fingerprint of God, the language of the divine, the thing that elevates your culture. Just implicitly, it's a witness in and of itself. And learning the stories of the people that built these things was just so incredibly moving. And I'm very curious by nature, so I knew getting to go to places and ask, like, why would people build things? They would be dead by the time it was finished. I knew that was going to lead somewhere special to me. And I liked the format, too. I liked that they're flipping it on its head. It's not an expert telling you about things. It's me. I'm like, you're just an average dude that, like, loves his faith, loves his family, wants to explore, curious, asking questions I think you would ask, right? Mm-hmm. So people put themselves in my shoes in the show. So I like that we flipped the format on its head. So there's a lot that was really interesting to me. I'm Italian as well, so I love the idea of starting in Italy. And yeah, we had a blast. And it's not just food. It's art, architecture, poetry, music. It's really focused on culture, broadly speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I love that it does start in Italy, because I think as Catholics, we can kind of claim like, yeah, we make the beautiful things, and we recognize the value of the church elevating your head and your heart, of something objectively old and something that, as Americans, everything is older than our own nation. In fact, it kind of like reminds you of the longevity of something and how there is that investment. When you were traveling to these places, there's 6 episodes so that folks kind of know the structure of the season, and you travel up and down Italy. What does each episode kind of posit at the end? Like, is there a thesis at the end where you're trying to convince somebody, okay, beauty's an investment for your own life, but also this is a thing we want you to go research, or this is a thing we want you to unpack in your own day-to-day?
Yeah, it's a great question. Every show has a similar format where we're experiencing similar elements in each episode. Some have different emphasis. We're really trying to bring to life that local culture wherever we're going, because every place has its own thing. And so we're really trying to understand what makes that culture, which in and of itself feels very Catholic to me, because we're all individuals and we all have an individual identity, and we're not, communistic. We're not all just widgets in a thing. Like, we're all individuals, and each town is an individual. And that was very cool to learn about the individual identity of each town. I think the challenge globally in the show applies to each episode, which is just like, how are we inviting beauty into our soul and into our life? And you learn about the faith of the people that built these things, and that's contagious in a good way. They had a lot of faith. The challenge, I think, is on a personal level in each episode to question beauty in your own life, your own faith, where you're at. Implicitly, I think there's some of that going on in the show, because it challenged me, and I felt it, and it was great. Like, I remember going to the top of a cathedral, and which are all easily accessible now. Back then, going on the roof of a cathedral wasn't a common thing. Now everyone can do it. And I remember walking around seeing statues up there. No one can see this from the ground. No one knows it's up there. And I remember turning to our expert going like, why? Why would they put this beautiful statue here? I can see the veins in the arms. I can see eyelids. Like, why put that here? And she smiled and she said, because some things are just for God. And that was cool. I was like, yeah, that's how much they believed.
Yeah.
That's how much they believed, that they purposely put things in every building. And I found this in all the churches I was at, they purposely put things that were just for God's eyes. Like, wow, that kind of faith. Do I have that kind of faith?
Yeah.
Right? Would I invest that amount of time sculpting a statue that no one would see?
Yeah. Well, and it's so countercultural because, I mean, we exist in an industry where you need eyeballs and ears to actually see the things you're creating so you can go create more things. But then for there to be this reminder of, but at the end of the day, the stream count, the listens, the followers, like that all kind of fades away. And what was made for its own sake and for the glorification of God. Now, granted, we want people to go watch this. We certainly want people to listen to this because it is so beautiful. But I think it will challenge quite a few of us to just remember that the priority first and foremost isn't the clicks or the shares, but is the creation of something beautiful on its own.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Tell me about season 1 premieres this weekend, and people are going to binge it. I hope they do at least on EWTN Plus. But you already have filmed season 2, and I'm only sharing that I know this because the social media manager that went with you guys on the season 2 filming in Spain is a friend of mine. And so I was getting texts from her of just like the things that y'all were doing and the various food that y'all were trying. And you got to bring your family to the filming of season 2, which I really admired as a Catholic parent. I think it's so great when we can bring our kids into some of the work that we're doing. So I want to ask, if I can, very personally, season 1's great. I'm so excited for people to get to see it finally. Season 2 is going to come out in a year or so, but your kids went on this journey with you for season 2. What was that like as a family?
Yeah, it was, as you could imagine, very profound. My wife and I have talks about this, right? Because like all the projects that I do, you have to go somewhere to do it, right? And it's like a hard rule in our family that if I have to leave and do something for more than 2 weeks, then I'm not doing it unless they come with me. And thanks be to God, I'm at a place in my career where we can make that work. But I just wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be worth it to be away from my family for 5-6 weeks. They're little. I have little kids. You know, I have a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old. I have a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and hopefully more, God willing. But you know, they're so little. That's a big chunk of their life I'd be missing. So it's just not worth it. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna do whatever it takes to bring the family with us. So we got to bring them, and it's hilarious. So you know, it's so funny. Like we're at dinner here in Idaho the other night, and let's get some ice cream, right? And so the waiter goes, "What kind of ice cream do you want?" to my daughter, and my daughter goes, "Can I have stracciatella?" I was like, "Oh boy, yeah." They've been spending some time in Italy. It was incredible to see. You know, seeing the old world through their eyes was awesome because it just shows you how objective beauty is. My son loves drawing, and he would just ask me to go sit in churches and draw the high altar. So like we would just sit and he would just sketch the little high altar there. And, you know, he's 5 years old, but like he got the shapes and the proportions. He was just so enamored by it. Yeah. Every time we walked into a church, like my daughter Gemma would literally bend backwards in her arms to like look at the ceilings of these places. Seeing it through their eyes was really cool, because beauty is objective, and them and me and my wife had the same experience as them, just awe, wonder, contemplation.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Somebody told me one time that it is more affordable to bring your family to Italy than it is to go to Disney World these days, which...
That's 100% true.
I went through the whole, and we're taking our kids to Italy in June, which is a delayed trip from when we were supposed to go for Carlo. And so I showed them some of the screeners ahead of time to get them ready. And They were so captivated by like, we're going to get to see this in person. And it's like, yeah, you're going to get to see that in person. You're going to get to eat that in person. You're going to get to hear those bells. They're very excited about hearing the bells because we just don't have bells like that in the States.
No, exactly what you just said, by the way, sorry to interrupt, is like my hope for the show. Like my hope for the show is a parent will watch it with their family and they'll get excited and be like, I got to go there. I got to go there. And I know it's cost prohibitive. I know it's expensive, but like if everyone just puts aside a couple coffees a month, like before you know it, you'll be there.
Right. And it's a priority thing. It's what do I want my kids to... Now, granted, and this is, again, as a fan of Wizards of Waverly Place and Disney properties, we're going to Disney World for Mardi Gras of 2027. That is going to happen at some point.
You guys got it mapped out.
There's this idea of what do we want to show our kids? And I think season 1 in Italy, season 2 in Spain, I would not be a good journalist if I didn't ask, do you have other countries you can't wait to bring people to for seasons 3 and beyond?
Yeah. Season 2 in Spain is going to be awesome. There's so much that I didn't know about Spain that I got to learn and how important Spain was. Like we'd all be Muslim if it wasn't for Spain. The the other seasons, we have a lot of places we want to explore. Top of mind is France, the first daughter of the church. We want to explore France. Then is Austria, Hungary, Germany. Those are places we really want to go. I really want to go to Vienna.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all. There's so. The thing is, it's never ending, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you can just go see Europe. Yeah. Go to Europe, then go east, and you've got the whole world.
there's so many awesome places, and like I want to explore all those places, and then at some point I want to go back to Italy because you missed the southern Italy. We missed so much. Like there's so much that you missed. You could just do a round 2 of every country because you can only show so many things in 6 episodes. But yeah, it's endless. It's endless.
I love it. Well, it's a great series. I hope it continues for a long time. David, real quick, where can people go watch Seeking Beauty, which premieres on Friday?
So it depends on what you want to watch it on. You can watch it anywhere. It's free. EWTN Plus. You can get the app. You can watch it on the app. You can just like type it in, Seeking Beauty, and like watch it just on your browser on EWTN. It's on your TV. Like if you got like a flat screen sitting on the wall, you can watch it on like Vudu and other things like that. It's going to be everywhere. So whatever your device is, you can find a way to watch it. If you're on your iPhone, just download the app, watch it for free, totally free. January 19th. Check it out.
We will make sure we post links. David, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Katie, thank you so much. God bless you. Appreciate you.